It's about almost 1 o'clock in the morning on the 9th of November. That'd be Wednesday, the day that was apparently never going to come. Donald Trump is going to be the 45th president of the United States. I can save a little time here. If you want to know how I feel about it, I feel about it exactly like this. This is how I feel about it. I promised myself I would keep this to 5 minutes or under, so I'm going to because I'd like people to see it. First of all the things that we can be just plain joyous about, in increasing order, in January, Barack Obama is going to hand the keys of the White House over to a person he said is a fool, a lunatic, and 100% unqualified. And what do you think that says about Barack Obama's legacy? What is his legacy after all? It's over now. He's still president until he's inaugurated, but I remember the last 8 years. And what has he done? He's implemented Obamacare, which is collapsing under its own weight, and what else? He's made the country more racially divided. He's weakened the military. He's got our international situation completely screwed up. He started ISIS. He's done all of these things. We haven't had any jobs. We haven't had an economy. All of that. That's the Obama legacy, and it's being ended with an exclamation point, and I think that's going to sink in on some people pretty quick. The second thing is we have no idea the kind of pushback that the media is going to give us. You really, folks, I'm telling you, you have no idea what you're going to start seeing and hearing in response to this, because the elites are a little annoyed tonight. Turns out that our betters in skyscrapers in New York and in the high rent apartment complexes in Washington and up in the Hollywood Hills, turns out that our betters, who are smarter than we are and certainly much more moral people, those people are always trying to tell us how to vote through their very catchy little videos online. They're a little upset. And they're a little upset because the inevitable march to the workers' paradise was stopped tonight. It was interrupted. It was paused. It's not stopped. It never stops, but it was paused. And they don't like it. And there's going to be a lot of pushback. And I cannot wait to see people's head explode. I want to text Whoopi Goldberg sometime in the morning and just simply text her and say, what time may we expect your departure? So there's all of that. There's the personal satisfaction of watching this woman, who I think is one of the most evil, corrupt, genuinely evil. When you sell your country, when you sell secrets to the people that are funding Al-Qaeda for millions of dollars, when you sell the nation's secrets and put them with such contempt that you allow your maid to print out top secret information, that is evil. And this woman had it coming, and I am absolutely overjoyed. This is an important point, too. Hillary Clinton could have done one thing, not to gain my respect ever. She's never going to gain my respect. There's one thing she could have done to at least start to make me think that there was some kind of human being underneath this machine. And what that thing would have been is she could have come out and given a gracious speech of resignation, concession speech. But she didn't come out and give a gracious concession speech. She was too scared and too cowardly to come out and face her own people, who had been standing there for 8 hours. I was watching this thing with the Never Trump friends of mine, and they are friends of mine, and thank God we don't have to worry about that anymore. But she just simply didn't come out. And she left those people out there in the rain. And then instead of sending somebody else to come out and say, hey, okay, look, we fought a hard fight, but we lost, they send out Podesta, who brought her down really with the WikiLeaks emails. And he didn't even have the grace or the courage to say, hey, we lost. He said, well, everybody should just go home right now before they finally do call this thing for Donald Trump. Everybody just go home right now, and we'll have a lot to talk about tomorrow, and we're not finished fighting, and we're going to recount and all the rest of this. It's just cowardice, raw cowardice. It's contempt for the American people. It's contempt for her followers especially. And folks, I mean this sincerely. If you are a backer of Hillary Clinton tonight, I'm not gloating over this, but I am telling you this. If Hillary Clinton was the person that you thought that she was, she would have been there for you tonight. And she wasn't. She wasn't there for you tonight. She left you out in the cold. She left you out in the cold because she couldn't bear to face you. And I have no doubt that Trump would have come out and told the people what actually happened. So there's that. But look, here's the final thought, at least the main thought for me. We have the House, we have the Senate, we have the presidency. That's all great. All of the tactical details on the ground, that's all terrific. It's wonderful news. However, what happened tonight is much, much, much bigger than our political landscape. What happened tonight was the American people rose up and told these elitist swine that we're not going to do what they tell us to do, that we still are in fact sovereign in our own nation, that we're not going to have a multiple felon and a multiple traitor as our president, that it's not an anointment. And folks, if it looks like Donald Trump won by a few points, or if he even loses the popular vote, let's just remember that these numbers indicate a 40-point headwind that the media gives to Hillary Clinton, attacking Trump everywhere, covering up her obvious problems. This country, if it was had accurate information, she would have lost by 50 points tonight. 50 points tonight. But the point is, she did lose. And America stood up, and people were mocking the Trump people, saying our ground game is in our hearts. Well, guess what? The ground game was in our hearts. The ground game was in the hearts of the people that came out and did it. And it's a remarkable thing. Now, as far as what's going on with this company, let me just chuck a couple of things in there real fast. I had, of course, prepared a video called The Plan, which I was going to release on November 9th, but I am very, very happy to say that has been delayed for maybe a week or so. I'm on my way down to Florida for the Horowitz Restoration Weekend. That'll be Wednesday. I'm down there Wednesday. I don't come back for a while. And it's going to be unique because it's going to be 4 years ago, almost exactly to the day, that I stood on that same stage and told the American people what Mitt Romney had to say in order to have won the presidency. He got seen by a lot of people. And I predicted the next president was going to come from the pop culture, that he wasn't going to be a politician. He was going to be somebody who understood television, who understood showmanship, and it turns out I was right. So I'm going to be down there for 5 days, and I'm going to be celebrating with my fiancée, because I've been engaged since August 6th. And I'll tell you all about it a little bit later. She's a photographer, and she's lovely, and I cannot remember what life was like before I met her. So we're going to celebrate a little bit and relax. We're going to bring out the new plan in a week, early next week, I suppose. And I want to thank every single one of you who ever shared a video, ever passed it on to anybody who's ever left comments, positive comments, either on YouTube or here at BillWhittle.com. People sometimes at events, I run into people who ask me to sign a copy of Silent America, go back to the early days of Eject, Eject, Eject. It's been an honor to have a small part in this, a small part, but a big honor. And what we are planning to do is not going to change because of this tremendous victory. We're going to have to do something very important. We, meaning me, this company, and the rest of us in this wonderful country, the rest of the patriots in this wonderful country, we are going to have to reintroduce Americans to America. We're going to start from the ground. We're going to start with 15, 16, 17-year-olds. If you've already voted for Obama or Hillary or Bernie, we don't have time to spend on you right now. It's a great plan. I'm very proud of it, and I'm going to sit on it for another week because we need to celebrate and just celebrate and nothing but celebrate. To Donald Trump, that speech tonight was superb. As I say, if you've been watching me, starting with this third debate, I said, this is not the same guy. I would criticize Trump because I thought he was dropping opportunities to defeat these people. It's my job to be honest. Truth is my profession. I'd like to think that it is anyway. That's what I try to make it. By the way, now that it's over, and now that it didn't cost us what it might have cost us, I think we need to say, and as I've been saying the whole time, and even if it had cost us, I'd still be saying this, that our disagreements with the people who are never Trumpers were disagreements with people who are married to conservative principles. And that's not something that you need to be beating out of somebody. I didn't agree with their calculation. I still don't agree with their calculation. As it turned out, it didn't matter, but they're good people, and they have a difference of opinion. They're our countrymen, they're our allies, they're fellow conservatives, and some of them are the best people I know. So I'm very glad that we can put that behind us now as we all start to work together to reintroduce Americans to America. I'm going to just leave it at that. We had shot a right angle. We did one for if Hillary wins and one for if Trump wins, and I'm just not going to run it. Sorry, Scott and Steve, I'm just not. I knew that the mood wouldn't be right, and it just feels very flat to me if we ran it right now. So I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. If you're a BillWhittle.com member, I cannot thank you enough for getting this message out there to people. If you're one of the people who've been touched by these videos or shared them with other people, those videos are made possible by a relatively small number of people at BillWhittle.com who've decided to become members, and I think it might have made some kind of difference. I know it's going to make a difference in the future. You may have noticed our posts and everything, and our likes are going up. We hired a terrific conservative social media group they've cranked our numbers. They've doubled our numbers in terms of reach in 4 days. So we're going to be seeing some big things here going forward, and it's going to be a tremendous opportunity now. And it's not going to be a death march now. Now we can actually approach this with joy. We can approach it with joy. The young conservatives out there, to you on college and high school campuses especially, this message is for you. I've had a chance to speak to many of you at many different events over the last year, and you've got guts and you've got brains. You have moral courage. You're fighting up against scream. You're outnumbered 20 to 1, 50 to 1, and you stay in there and you show those colors and you're proud of them, and you are going to be the people that's going to return America to moral sanity and fiscal responsibility and limited government and all the rest, because we're going to do it, by God. And I was saying that earlier. We're going to beat these bastards. We're not going to let them win. We wiped them out today. We hurt them really badly. But like everything else, rust never sleeps. Once you mow the lawn, you got to realize the grass starts growing again. The pushback's going to be tremendous. Entropy favors the progressives. Everything wants to run down. People want to do the easy thing rather than the right thing. So if you're a conservative, your job is to roll that rock up the hill every day. And when you wake up the next morning, it's back at the bottom of the hill, and you have to roll it up again every day. And you want to think, well, when do I have to stop rolling the rock? And the answer is never. Never. You never stop rolling the rock. We can lose, but they can only be fought. Got to keep mowing the lawn. Every day we got to go up there and do the right thing, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. For our members, thank you. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for supporting my stand with Scott and with everybody else on this. It's important. We cannot lose our way, and we can't lose our principles. And the Never Trump crowd were standing on principles. Whether you liked them or not, they were. All right, I'm going to sign off now, and I'm going to be back. I'll be doing updates from the road down in Florida, and nobody knows what the world's going to be like tomorrow or today. But I do know it's not going to be the world that I was afraid it was going to be. So we've been working very hard here and lots of long hours. So if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to take 3 or 4 days, not off. I'm going to be working down at the hotel in Palm Springs, Palm Beach rather. But thank you for everything. We should be very, very proud of ourselves. And the American people did something very, very, very important today. A final shout out to our friends in Britain, by the way. The example of the Brexit meant a lot to me personally, and I know it meant a lot to a lot of Americans. Those of you Brits who voted for your country back, you gave us tremendous hope that it could be done. Tremendous hope. It's been terrific, and we're looking forward to walking into freedom with you as our allies, because you've always been our allies and we've always been yours. It's a wonderful day, and I'll tell you all about my fiance, the photographer, when I get back. Might show a picture of hers, though, one or two, not of her, but some of the ones she's taken of me. She makes me look good in natural light, and that's a pretty good work without the Photoshop. Congratulations, Mr. Trump. Congratulations to all of you who are Trumpers from the beginning. You did it. We were there. We did it too, but you absolutely moved this country away from the precipice. Now our job is to make sure that we put a railing up there. Have a great night, everybody. Celebrate this and don't let it go. Try not to rub your friends' noses in it. If you're going to gloat over Hillary, do it in private. But if you are going to do it in private, really do it well. Do it long and hard, and just get completely liquored up. And just but don't share that with our fellow Americans, because they are our fellow Americans. We're going to have to win them over. We're going to have to make them into conservatives, and I know exactly how to do that. Good night, America. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this fight, and thank you for the resources to keep me in this fight, and all the rest of us here. And if you think that we've done a good job so far, you ain't seen nothing yet.
They won't catch us this time! Not this time! Just you keep on going and get us back! It's an order! They haven't spotted us! They're all snoring in their bunks! Oh, you know what? They're drinking in the bar! Celebrating our secret!